Hey you guys, and welcome back. This is going to be part 2 to the rape culture crap and victimhood status video that I did. And here I'm just going to be providing my commentary on the information that I presented in that video. And because today is such a beautiful day out, I decided to come out here and treat myself to some sun. So you may hear some background noise, some cars going by or something of that nature. But this video really isn't going to be that long. Hopefully. I always say that, but hopefully this video is not going to be that long because the information that I presented is pretty much cut and dry. To anyone who listened to the comment that the person left on my channel and then listened to the information that I presented in that video, it's pretty much cut and dry what it was, the point that I was trying to make. And now in him leaving those comments, he was trying to say that in those countries that women are held accountable and that they throw the rape culture crap and victimhood status literally out the window. The problem is that the women there are actually being raped. So it almost sounds like they ignore the fact that women and girls are being raped and they try to cover it up. Because that's what it said in one of the articles, is that the women often don't report, and when the girls or the children are raped, they usually keep it a secret to try to protect their honor or because of some other reason. And so I had men here to come and say, well, what does this have to do with MGTOW? Or they tried to use a us versus them type of tactic in that, oh, in this part of the world, that's expected because of what all is happening there. And those are excellent questions, and I'm going to provide you the answer of why. Because it is the groups like MGTOW and the MRA groups that are denying rapes, or the number of rapes that are occurring in this society. And two, it's not just happening in parts of the world such as Angola and Uganda. It's happening here as well. The difference is what you heard in that MGTOW's comment to me. Over there, they keep it a secret and they don't talk about it. They hide it. They cover it up. And it's able to flourish under silence. So the difference between here and there is not that they don't participate in rape culture crap or victimhood status. It's just that they don't talk about it. Whereas here, they do talk about it to try to bring about change and awareness. And that's the issue that MGTOW men, or many MGTOW men, and various men who are in different MRA type groups have with so-called rape culture, is the fact that women are speaking about it. Because that's the only difference, really, is that over here they speak about it, they report it sometimes, not all of the time. Most of the times, most rapes go unreported. But over here, they speak about it more. They speak out about it more to bring about awareness. Over there, they keep it quiet. They keep it hidden. They keep it, under the cover. Now, I will say this. If someone knowingly lies about being raped, meaning if they report that they were raped and they weren't, and they pinpoint someone for the sole purpose of having them go to jail or be punished or be in trouble, they should be punished for that. But the problem with groups like this is that there is no balance and there is no common sense. Because on the one hand, they'll come here and call it rape culture crap when it pertains to women and girls. But then they'll come here and try to make the case that more boys and more men are raped than women. Well, is that rape culture crap as well? When men and boys are being raped? And when the men and boys are being raped, who are they being raped by? Are they being raped by women? And here's something else that I find interesting. I had a person to come here and leave a comment that more boys are raped by female middle school teachers than girls are being raped. And he himself says that he was raped by a boy and a girl. I'm guessing 2 different instances. And so I don't know if he meant like when he was younger, if it was an actual boy, and then if it was an actual girl, or if it was a man and a woman. I'm not sure. But he is the same person who said that unwanted kissing and touching is the same thing as rape. So I'm not exactly sure, what exactly took place. Now, the only thing that he talked about was the rape of boys at the hand of women, which is atrocious and should not be occurring. And I don't know of anyone, whether they're a feminist or not, who says that that is okay or acceptable. But given the fact that he also said that he was also raped by a boy, it makes me curious as to why he focuses on what the women do but not on what the male did to him. Because I would imagine that it was just as traumatic. But that's the piece of it that many of the men in this group don't want to discuss. They will come to my channel and talk about how many boys are being raped, how many men are being raped in the prison system, but they leave out that little bit about who is doing the majority of the rapes of these boys and of these men. It's other men, for the most part. Even if you look at the boys who are being sexually abused or, raped by female teachers in the school system, when you add in the men who are being raped in the prison system, and the boys who are being raped by other men or males, you're still looking at men and males committing most of the rape. This is not to give the women a pass, and I wish that we could have some common sense in these discussions in saying that, instead of your agenda being to attack the other person, why can't the agenda be to help those who are victimized? And the reason why this is a problem is because men for centuries have been told, you're a man, you have a penis, whatever sexual urges that you have, whatever sexual tendencies that you have the free will to exercise that, whether it's rape, brutalization, whatever that is, whatever gets you off, you have a right to do that because you have a phallus. And what these men are calling rape culture crap is the very reason why you are hearing more and more stories about boys and men being sexually abused and raped, because those discussions are being had. It never ceases to amuse me how the hatred that these men have for women is so strong that they are willing to let their fellow brothers and fellow men fall by the wayside. A lot of that, where the female teachers and stuff are getting away with it, is because of the attitudes that males hold. Oh, well, the boy just got lucky. Oh, well, she's hot. So you see these women, many of them white, who are viewed as being attractive, and so they end up getting, not getting any time or not serving any time for raping boys because of the attitudes of men. Oh, she's hot. He just got lucky. Many women, and especially mothers, would want to whoop her ass. Many women don't think that's cute. They don't think, oh, well, the boy just got lucky. Women aren't saying that crap. It's the men. But you want to come here and whine and complain and bellyache to the women for a system that was set up by men, by and for men, to do as they please sexually and otherwise. So I had 2 separate instances of black men coming to my channel to whine and complain and tell me about how horrible their black mothers were and how they ran their fathers off and how they beat them and mistreated them and abused them and terrorized them, and how that's why they feel the way they do about black women, because of their experience with their mothers. And in both cases I asked them, well, what happened to your father? And in both cases, they say, oh, well, she was so horrible to him, he just left. He came with the cops and got his stuff and left. And so let me get this straight. Your father, who you let off the hook completely, called the cops to escort him over to the house to pick up his stuff. And he required police protection to go to that house to get his stuff. But he left his kids with a woman who he viewed to be so dangerous that he needed the cops to escort him over there and protect him and be his bodyguards. A grown man. But both of these men say they don't blame the father for leaving them in a situation that they felt endangered in. They blame the mother for doing what she did. And believe you me, if any parent is abusive to their child, they deserve whatever blame comes their way. They deserve the full blame for whatever their actions are. But that parent, who is supposedly the good parent, the sane parent, they deserve just as much blame for leaving their children in a dangerous situation. He protected himself. He called the police to escort him over there, but he didn't lift a finger to do anything to protect his children. Both of them are at fault. The woman is at fault for being an abuser, but the man is at fault for neglecting his children and neglecting his responsibility as a parent. You try doing that. You try, being at home and the house catches on fire and you run off and leave your child. You run off and save yourself, but you leave your child there. You're going to jail. And rightly so. They are going to lock you up, and rightly so. And so the reason why the arguments and the position of many of these MGTOW men who are coming to this channel sound so irrational and illogical is because they're not trying to find solutions. The only thing that they're doing is they're looking out for self. And so they come up with all of these off-the-wall excuses and explanations because they're not trying to find solutions. They're trying to find whatever excuses that they can use that they think makes sense for them to not care about anybody else but themselves. I've heard MGTOW say this. They don't care anything about anybody else in society. They just care about themselves. And as a free person in this world, it is your right to do so. But this is just kind of highlighting that point for those who may not understand why their arguments and their positions seem so irrational and illogical, because they're not trying to find solutions. They're not coming from a place of, we're working towards solutions. Many of the ones who are coming here to this channel and to channels of other women are coming from a place of bitterness and hatred. So they try to go out and find statistics and data that support their position of bitterness and hatred. And then they go around spewing all of these illogical positions based off of this data. But even the data that they put out there doesn't support their illogical positions. For example, rape culture crap and victimhood status. When you look at the information and the data for the countries that this person presented, Angola and Uganda, rape is rampant in those countries. In Uganda, they call it an epidemic. But this so-called man is completely comfortable with the rapes of women, children, and the disabled remaining hidden and under silence, and having those people suffer and catch disease and die a slow, painful, frightening death. He's okay with that as long as they don't talk about it. The data doesn't support this premise of rape culture crap and victimhood status. It supports that what he is referring to as rape culture crap and victimhood status is the fact that women in the Western world speak out more than the women in those countries. So the difference is not, Western women are so terrible, is Western women are speaking out about these things that are happening, not just to women and girls, but to boys and men as well. I tell you what, there were more women speaking out about the rape that occurred in the prison system than there were men. Now that men have this all boys group, they're speaking out about it, but they really don't care about it. They really are not looking to do anything about it. They're really not looking to solve the issue. They just want to use that as something to clobber women over the head to try to get them to shut up. They don't actually care about the men and the boys. They just want the women to shut up. That's the difference between the Western women and the women in these countries, or in countries like the ones that he named, is that Western women are more likely to speak out and say that it is wrong. Women in these other countries are in a situation to where they are having to depend on men. And because men are in control and are running everything, these same men who are in control hide and keep secret the men who are doing these rapes of women and children and girls and the disabled. And if the women speak up, they are in danger. And this is what these men want for Western women. They want the ability to be able to rape in peace and in quiet and in silence. So that's what rape culture crap is, folks. Speaking out against rape and saying it's wrong is rape culture crap and victimhood status. Okay, you guys, I said I was going to try to keep this short, but I failed. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I will be so happy to have you. You guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.